Can you put? Good afternoon. This is the City of Liberty Lake Parks and Arts Commission. Today is Monday, December 1st, 2025, and it's 4:01 p.m. We'll start off today with our call to order, including our roll call. I'll call off the commissioners' names. Nancy Hill, that's me, present. Please note David Heimbaugh is absent. Laura Frank.
Present.
Katie Ferris.
Present.
Please note John Barr and Noel Otterson-Laparco also have called in and will be unable to attend. I don't see Bob Schneidmiller. Evan, is he online? Okay. So Bob's not here for now. Hopefully he'll be joining us. Joni Hay.
Present.
Gary Edwards.
Present.
And I don't see Megan Bollinger, our new student commissioner here. Is she online, Evan? Okay, just let us know if they join. So we'll show that Megan is not in attendance yet. Staff today, we have no tape. So we have Jen Camp, and online we have Derek.
Mikkel and Johnny Finn.
Mikkel's online? Yep, okay. All right, so we have Derek, Mikkel, and Johnny attending via Zoom. All right. Approval of November 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes. They're in your packet. Did everyone have a chance to review those? And if so, are there any edits or corrections? And if not, a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
Second.
It's been moved by Gary and seconded by Joni to approve the meeting minutes from November 3rd, 2025 as written. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Please show the motion has carried unanimously. Next up, citizen comments. I don't see any citizens in the audience for comments. Is there anyone online, Evan? Okay, seeing no citizen comments, we'll move on to item 5, which are action items, discussions, and presentations. The first item is for discussion, or at least introduction, for developing an SOP for art installations and basically our artist selection process. And we'll, Laura, did you want to speak at all to that, as how we came to thinking about this and potentially using our consultant to start that the first of the year? Just want everyone to get to thinking about it.
Yeah, so we met with city staff last week just to kind of go over. So for the Kramer Parkway art installation, there were some requirements that we had been unaware of in terms of permitting and structural engineering. And so we just wanted to have a better understanding of how to be able to plan for that in the future. And so there's some action items that came out of that, but the main takeaway was that maybe this becomes part of the scope of work for our consultants, being that they've had vast experience and large municipal art installations, and to kind of guide us through that process. We kind of have some loose guidelines in place in terms of the selection panel that's in our Parks and Arts policies and procedures, but really just kind of formalizing it and assisting us in being able to better plan for and budget for it, as well as being able to more clearly communicate what the expectations are of what the artist is responsible for versus what the Parks and Arts Commission and city staff are responsible for. Did I catch everything?
And then on the installation side, we've discovered that some art installations may require a sign permit. Some may require a building permit. If they're potentially in the right of way, that may bring on some additional requirements. Some may not. But what we know overall is we always want to keep risk management in mind and make sure any of our installations are safe. So we'll kind of also look at developing that into kind of a guideline so that future commissions going forward will know there are certain things to consider and certain things that may add more to the budget. And we'll get into some of the details on the Kramer Parkway sculpture installation and which did run higher costs for the installation process because of some of those requirements. And we can go over that when we get to that update, but I just wanted to get you guys thinking about it. And then when our consultant agreement, has that come?
It will be on the December 16th agenda for approval.
Okay, so as soon as that comes through for approval and we get to January, when our new budget takes effect, I don't know if we're gonna have a subcommittee possibly that can do a little workshop with her and report back to the main group, or how we'll want to handle that, but we'll kind of work through that the first part of January, so be thinking about that as well. Anything else on that, Laura, that I'm missing?
I think you got it.
All right, next, Rainbow Bridge discussion, next steps, including location. As you recall, Mara from Popular Companions had submitted a project application, which we had approved moving forward. And today we have a representative from Popular Companions. You want to step up to the podium and let us know your name for the record?
Thank you. Is this okay? My name is Dee Scott, and I'm the manager at Popular Companions. And Mara couldn't be here tonight, so she had me come in her place. So I first want to thank you for considering this project. I'll briefly go over what we submitted just so that everyone is up to date on it. Several years ago, I was in Lake Lure, North Carolina, and ran across a Rainbow Bridge there. And what it was I don't know, are you all familiar with the Rainbow Bridge story? Okay, so I saw that, and it always was in the back of my mind that it was something that I might like to present to Mara. And last year during the hurricanes, that bridge was damaged and completely damaged, and they're still finding collars. I just did some research the other day. So it was, they're rebuilding it. I think it is rebuilt now. And so what we want to do is we have this dream to build the Rainbow Bridge in the city of Liberty Lake. And what we want is a very serene place where people can go and reflect, remember, commemorate their past pets. At one point, we were thinking of placing their collars on the bridge, but we do have some options for that. So we were looking for a perfect location for that. And what we have done in the meantime is we had a local artist from Coeur d'Alene actually paint a beautiful scene on our wall at Popular Companions. I brought a couple pictures of it, but it has the Rainbow Bridge poem that is in the clouds, and the clouds a big paw print, and then we have a beautiful rainbow, and then dogs awaiting. And so we have an ornament that we have sold there. And it's $10. The sign says, "No longer by my side, forever in my heart. We will meet at the Rainbow Bridge and we will never be apart." So for $10, a person can buy this ornament. It talks about the love of our pets and the Rainbow Bridge. And then we have a little cloud, and then we put the dog's name, or the people can put the dog's name on the cloud and put it up on our back wall. So we were doing that in lieu of the Rainbow Bridge, and it's been extremely popular. Especially during the holidays, a lot of people have dogs or cats that they want to commemorate. So we have had a huge response for it. People just love the idea. So that being said, what we think is that that we would. I just really feel like this Rainbow Bridge can be a beautiful piece of art in Liberty Lake. And I think that there are only a few Rainbow Bridges actually in the United States. Even just a few years ago, there were only 2. So when you do the research, it's amazing. And people from all over the United States and all over the country will go to those Rainbow Bridges, and they will place their dog's collars or a tag or whatever on that bridge. So I think that it will draw locals, but it will also draw visitors. And we are we're so close to Coeur d'Alene, which is obviously a destination point, and so many people are traveling, that it would be awesome to have this Rainbow Bridge someplace that would be easy accessible from the freeway, because I do believe that it would just be a huge addition to the community, not only because we're dog lovers here and pet lovers, but because just because there are so few of these in the United States. So it really could help put Liberty Lake on the map even more. We would want, I think, easy access. So if people are traveling on I-90, they could pop off the freeway, do that. That could be part of our marketing, in Liberty Lake, is that we are one of the few in the nation that have a rainbow bridge. What I think that would be kind of a neat spot. And I know very little about all this, but the current farmers market area, I don't know what you refer to that as, but you have an RV park there. It's easy access, often on the freeway. A lot of traffic passes by there, and it's also high visibility just for our locals with the farmers market. So I think that it would also bring local money to, people that are stopping there. We have restaurants nearby, we have easy parking, is things we don't have to reinvent. On the corner of Signal and Mission, there is a tree, sets back a little bit, but how we kind of envision this is that we would have a tree, we would have a bench where people could sit. Ultimately, it would be fun to have, this should be a beautiful work of art. So we could have, I've seen like rocks that look like paws. We could have paws almost like a stream looking, and then we would have that rainbow bridge. One of the things that Nancy, you had mentioned was the problem of people stealing the dog collars that are on that bridge, or people don't have a dog collar, but they want to remember a pet. That would be something we'd like to explore. We could almost make them if we did metal, beautiful metal and chain with metal. It could be hearts, it could be bones, it could be a paw, it could be whatever. But the tags actually could end up being almost like a wind chime, which I think would be really pretty, and again, go with that whole art thing. Involving local people would be really awesome, because we could, I've got my notes here, just a second. We could, so like this, there is a sign that would talk about the bridge, what it is. We could have a local artist be involved in that. We could have, I think the beauty of it, I see it with flowers. I see it with just very, we could have, gardeners, local gardeners, if there's an association, be involved there. And we would have sponsors, I would think. I think that we could ultimately get sponsors to either construct or maintain or to donate benches. I don't think that would be a problem. I know for us, the Popular Companions too, we would have a lot of people who would like to be involved in that regard. We at some point maybe running water, we could do whatever. But the picture that we're envisioning is a very peaceful, beautiful place that people would come from all over to commemorate their dogs and cats, and that would be a beautiful piece of art for Liberty Lake. So I like that spot simply because of its something over there, simply because of its high visibility. And if we're going to do this, it's worth doing well. It's worth doing beautiful, beautiful,
That's Town Square, as it's called,
Town Square,
property, and it wouldn't be able to probably go there because that property is in limbo over what the city wants to do with that, whether they want to put a library there or a community center or have it parkland or whatever. I mean, it is a nice little spot there, but we'd probably have to look at others. I know, Derek, you're online and some of your team. Have you guys took a look around at any locations that you thought might be good?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Is he on mute? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect. This is for the Rainbow Bridge, correct?
Correct.
And you guys are looking for locations.
Mm-hmm.
What size is it exactly? Like, do we have parameters at all?
We don't have any parameters, but I can hear from what Dee's saying that we may want to have the potential for it to be expandable. You know, the concept from what I've seen before is probably some kind of a bridge with sides, you know, fencing sides that would be probably at least, I would say, minimum 15 feet in length, with the possibility of expansion over something that could be developed into like a little dry creek or something like that. And as she said, in an area in which there would, you know, it wouldn't be right next to a playground or something where it would have some sense of reflection and serenity. But, you know, this is ground zero. So you know, do you
Are you,
have,
are you guys able to hear me?
yes,
Yeah.
So one location that I did have, or kind of a few locations in area, was off of the golf course on that. It's actually the water department's property, but that trail runs through there, offset of Liberty Lake Road. There's a few chain link fences in there that I was actually thinking might not be a bad option. A lot of people do walk through there, especially with dogs, and it does also allow us a chain link fence that would give us access to hanging those collars.
Well, there's also a culvert where there's actually a bridge already, essentially over the culvert, right when you come down, like from the Trailhead Clubhouse, that first kind of bend in the trail.
as you,
Exactly.
Yeah,
as you approach the Fallen Heroes course, you mean?
yes.
Yeah, just after that or just south of the Fallen Heroes.
So Dee, they're talking about Liberty Lake Road, which is the road that goes between the two grocery stores. And as it heads down to the lake past the light, on the left, there's a trail that runs that whole length down along the side of Trailhead Golf Course. And they're talking about an area but there wouldn't be any parking there, correct?
That is correct. It is just a walking trail with no actual designated trailhead for parking.
Our golf staff suggested the Arboretum could be a good place. It's definitely more peaceful down there than our other parks.
I had just written that down. The other one that I was thinking is, does the city own any property over in River District along the river? When you talk about wanting peaceful.
Just the Harvard Trailhead. We don't own any property over there.
My first thought was by the farmer's market. There's a swale between the farmer's market and the Starbucks. Might be a nice place for a
Let's
bridge.
get in there.
That's probably not city property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Pavilion Park an option? You know, there's the actual hill, and a lot of people go up there, a lot of kids play up there and stuff. Or the one corner that would be the north side, whatever that road is on the north side.
Oh, where the
you know what I
rock
mean?
garden's gonna go.
Where,
Yeah.
oh,
Unless they
At-
were.
At the new stop sign there, which is
Yeah.
Moulter and Country Vista.
Yeah.
There's going to be, we have another citizen-led project, and there's going to be a rock garden there.
Mm.
But there is, if you go along Country Vista to the east, I don't know what that side street is, but there's another corner there, which is visible because Country Vista is
right.
pretty big. And then there's parking along the residential street to the side, or they could walk across the park from the main parking lot. That corner was under consideration as a possible rock garden location, but that could possibly be a location for that. Derek, given activities that happen in the park, do you know the corner I'm talking about?
Yeah, and one corner I was actually just going to bring up as well is at the Southern basketball court. I know you mentioned the hill. I didn't know if you were talking about the hill more towards Settler, but where that Southern basketball court is at Pavilion, there is that little 4-foot fence there, and I want to say it's 4 feet, probably by 75 feet, maybe 100. Do you know that location?
I know where the basketball court is. What's the purpose of the fence? I'm trying.
The basketballs don't go down the hill and run into neighbor or adjacent homeowners' fences.
Is the fence on the south side of the basketball court?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that would be kind of out of a little bit secluded down there, that's for sure. And then it's right off the main parking lot.
Yes, it would be just forward from the first ADA or handicap stall.
South of the basketball courts, is that what he's saying?
Yeah,
Just right
the-
above.
not
Where
over
the
the,
goats
there's a
are?
single court.
Yes, the single court.
Most people don't even know it's there.
Okay.
I'm talking to Dee now because she doesn't, because there's the big ones by the tennis
Right.
court. It's
Uh-huh.
not that.
Not that.
On the very southern end of Pavilion Park,
Okay.
just off one corner of the main parking lot, there is a basketball court there. And so that's below it. Would there be enough room there, Derek, to make something that looked more like a bridge by, making maybe a second fence? So it was some kind of a corridor you could walk through with some kind of more aesthetics to it than just a fence blocking balls?
To be honest, probably not at that location just because the fence is on a hillside.
What about the area where they put the goats that's
Yes.
along the Multer?
We call that the dog leg.
Yeah.
The dog
Lovely
leg.
Thinking down
Yeah.
off the trail, that's probably a little more.
Perfect.
I know what you're
convenient.
talking about.
Yeah.
I thought of that too.
Yeah. Well, and I was curious if we've ever discussed a dog park or anything like that, like looking to the future, if we would want to maybe put the Rainbow Bridge by a potential location for a dog park.
We've brought up the dog park before and it's on the city's unfunded project, the council's unfunded project capital list. One of the problems we ran into in suggesting an off-leash dog park was a
Liability.
place to put it.
Yeah.
Because the city doesn't have a lot of surplus property. I mean, we have
Sure.
our three big parks and then the town square parcel, which is in limbo. There's not a lot of other.
And I've worked extensively with Mara on private funding of a dog park and where
Oh.
would we put it? And it's been a challenge trying to
Mhm.
find a location.
What?
It seems like the Arboretum would be a nice place because it's a little bit secluded where the Lions Club already has family memory bricks and things down there for people to go down there with their picnics and things. And
I know
maybe
that's a narrow piece of property. Would there be enough room for something like that? Does it widen out at the
Or
southern
dog
end of
park
it?
or the
The
bridge?
bridge.
Yeah.
Where's the Arboretum? Help me out.
See,
Right
people
down
don't
over
even
the
know
hill
about
over
it.
back here behind the
Just
city hall.
Right that way on the far end of the city hall parking lot is the trail that goes down into the
Yeah.
Arboretum.
Oh, and that's what's okay.
Mm.
I know what you're talking
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
Road.
ton of dog
Okay.
walkers through that area.
Mhm. And if I just think because we would have people, we would have people coming by car, stopping
Yeah.
and visitors.
And there would be
sort of thing.
parking at City Hall and there's also
That would be
some
nice, having
parking at the
parking.
lower end. There's a cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
There's like
Back in the
two,
neighborhood though.
Yeah.
yeah, there's like 2 parking spots technically, I think.
So City Hall would be the parking area.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, it sounds like we need to do a little more research and
Yeah.
figure out, yes, Gary.
I had a separate question. What do you do with the money for the tags and how do you collect it? I mean, how do people sign up to get a tag?
Well, we haven't determined that yet, but I think that would be something that we could do at we could easily do that at Popular Companions. And honestly, we could do like some kind of, I've seen it, when you doing something remotely, like hiking or whatever, you can do things remotely. We could possibly put something there where people could order that tag, pay for that tag, and then we would make sure that it was on the fence. We could do that too. I think those are things that we can certainly work out.
Yeah.
What does the money go for?
I think the money could go to maintenance of the project. That would be, let it pay for itself,
Yeah. Popular Companions has generously offered to fund the project
Yes.
initially, so it doesn't come out of our
Wow.
budget.
Right.
So and maintenance, of course, is always an issue. So if there were tags, there would be cost, and if there was some overage,
Right.
but if that went into a maintenance fund
Exactly.
or expansion fund, that
Mm.
could certainly work. I think we really need to spend some time on on finding a
spot.
location.
Mhm.
I mean, Derek, maybe you're in, now that you've heard the discussion, maybe you and your team could, look around a little bit more with these parameters in mind.
Yeah, I think now that we actually have a better understanding of exactly what you guys want to see, we definitely can come back with some better ideas the first of next year.
Okay, well, why don't we put you on the agenda to have that discussion at our January meeting, and we'll, all of us can keep thinking about it. If anybody in here wants to walk around and has a place, we can certainly have that discussion when we come together the first of the year.
Do you guys have kind of an idea? I'm assuming you want to stick with probably something as a 4-foot fence. Do you guys have a length that you're looking for?
A length of the
Oh.
bridge.
A
Well-
length of the bridge or a length of fencing?
Well, I
The-
personally would say a minimum of 15 feet, and so that would end up being 30 feet, because we want it to look like a bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a concept sketch?
I have a picture, and I can get a concept, and I can make sure that you all have it. We can get it to
Yeah, or
Nancy.
even just whatever the
Mhm.
inspiration is. 'cause
Yeah,
find it
I have a
helpful as
picture
we're
of-
kinda looking around.
I have pictures of an actual, like of the Lake Lure. I mean, I can show it to you, pass this around. So I have a picture of this. I can certainly put something together. We could sketch something out, have perimeters, have, the concepts and a few ideas.
Yeah, if you had that, you
Yeah.
could get us to
By
either drop it off at City Hall for Gen Camp or send it electronically.
Yeah.
Then we can get that to Derek, and that'll give them a little bit more of a guideline when they're scouting.
I think it's a little easier as you're walking around if you have kind of the vision
visual.
of what
Mhm.
it's going to look like versus just saying a fence, because it's
I agree.
obviously a lot more than that.
Yeah,
And
you know.
in my head, you want it to look a little bit like a bridge. So
You do.
whether it has we make a little arch or a little
Mhm.
something that goes over like a dry creek bed. I keep thinking
Exactly.
about on the far side of I-90 from here as you go from the I-90 bridge to the to the Mission, is that Mission?
Yeah.
Mission
Yeah.
Roundabout, they have that dry creek bed that's between the north and southbound lanes, and to me, something like that would be nice, so you have more of the idea of it being a bridge.
I agree. When you imagine even this room, if you can just, imagine a bridge like so, and then a dry creek underneath it with the paw prints out of the rocks, flowers, the chimes would hang, it'd have I'm saying the chimes, but the tags that could end up ultimately being chimes, it would
Uh-huh.
look pretty if they were like that. and
Yeah.
they're hanging,
Yeah,
I don't know if many of you ever went over, it's Donkey Island it crosses the Spokane River over by Argonne below Arborcrest in that area. And there is a fence, and they used to have people would put locks on it, and there were
Oh.
locks and there were hearts and stuff. And actually they ended up taking it down, but it was actually very cool. And, with the river running underneath it. So,
Yeah.
if we're going to do something like this, I think we really want to do it nicely.
well, why don't we plan on you
Okay.
presenting maybe some pictures of
Okay.
what people have already done, and then a concept drawing of what
Okay.
you think we should do, and if the sooner you can get that to Jen, then the more time her team has to look, and then we'll reconvene in our January meeting and
Okay.
put it back on the agenda for discussion. And we certainly thank you for coming, and it's a great idea. I think it'll be very well received by the
Okay.
community.
Thank you so much for having us and entertaining us.
All right, thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee.
All right, next up, Jen, do you want to take that?
Yeah, this will be brief. I received information from Mark McAvoy that he had met with someone at Visit Spokane, and they had mentioned a potential project called a sculpture garden. I have zero details on this. I do have a couple of messages into Rose at Visit Spokane to complete a proposal form to share with you all. I have not received one yet. So hopefully on the next agenda, we'll have something little. I was hoping to have that today and have discussion on it, but I don't have anything yet, so more details to come.
So when we get that project proposal, then we can get it back on the
Mhm.
agenda. It's an interesting concept. I'm a personal huge fan of sculpture gardens. I'll be curious to see if they want to create a area-wide sculpture garden with different stops, or they want us to have a whole sculpture garden.
Or if it's a permanent or a temporary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, could
Because
be.
we've talked about-
All I know is that they mentioned it because of potential for tourism in the city of Liberty Lake, so.
Yeah.
So what is a sculpture garden?
A sculpture garden to me is a lot of sculptures clustered in an area in which you can walk through.
Are they political or religious or stuff like that, or artistic?
Artistic.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. They have several, I know there's a museum in Raleigh that has a big art museum, and then outside of it, they have all these walking trails, and then there's sculptures periodically. There's a little map, and
Yeah, a lot of cities.
Seattle has kind of one down by the waterfront.
Yeah, Seattle's a beautiful one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll be curious because we've explored the idea of a temporary where citizens can engage and vote on what their favorite is, and then the Parks and Arts would procure it.
Mhm.
So
And when I was
we have a lot of good locations.
couple of years ago, I went to the Desert Botanical Gardens in the Phoenix area, and they had it was all the same sculpture artists, but among all the gardens, they had randomly placed the sculpture's work around, and it stayed there for a set period of time. And then it went away. And I noticed when I went back the next year that they had kept one or two pieces. Maybe the sculpture had donated, I don't know. But I don't know if they're going to do anything else, but it really enhanced the experience at the gardens by having these, just random sculptures out there.
That's cool.
All right, thank you. The next is the 2025 budget allocation, and I just kind of wanted to put that on there because if we have extra monies in our 2025 budget, monies that aren't earmarked to carry over, that it would be nice to spend that. I know it's December in the final hour, but we do have the ongoing Home for the Holidays project, which we can always buy more lights or decorations for, even if they don't go up this year. So I know, Jen, you have given us an updated copy of the budget.
Correct.
And
So
Nan-
I'm
Nancy-
looking to what we've spent. Looks like we spent beautification, programming. We've already allocated that 8,000, but it hasn't been spent, or?
He has used 2,600 for lights, and I do believe the invoice that I saw today for the Christmas trees was around $700. So 30, let's just say 3,500 of the 10,000 has been spent.
So we've already voted and approved that.
Mhm.
So is that going to be spent?
Mikkel, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Yeah, I mean, if we originally had you had all put it towards the Battle of the Branches. I bought everything we needed for that. I did have one more order, so probably another 400 is going to come out. But everything else was earmarked for the Battle of the Branches, so I wasn't sure if we could spend it for anything else regarding Home for the Holidays, or if that's what the commission wanted.
Well, if we decided to vote today to spend the remainder on just general Home for the Holidays, would you be able to do that before the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Nancy, I think we had a couple ideas coming out of that event and just hoping to recap a little bit of like things that we could do moving forward to improve it. And I think then we would have items that we could spend money on.
Okay, because I mean, we're down to the wire. We have to.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then it looks like we still have some money in our Smarty board line item, almost $500 there. And then I think everything else is a carryover, if I'm not mistaken.
We're going to be about $300 over on the Liberty Lake Kramer art.
Mm-hmm.
So if you subtract that overage from the underage
Yes.
programming, then that just leaves you probably about $200.
Oh.
We do have, where did I see? Oh, we have the funds for the utility box wraps, the 4,000 there.
Okay.
That is freed up because we have received the check from STCU.
So if there's something we want to do with it, we could do a blanket vote to use the remaining funding to go towards whatever it was under probably most likely the Home for the Holidays category, because I don't know what else we could accomplish in a month, because it would have to be purchased and invoiced and paid in December because none of it's carried over. So you had some thoughts, Joni?
Yeah, just a couple of thoughts. First of all, I think the event went awesome, especially given that it was the first year. So everything seemed great to me. We were thinking Katie brought her own Polaroid camera, but I think it would be, and she was doing like selfies. But then I was watching the parents go up, and then it was kind of a jockeying of there's two parents and two kids, and who's going to take the photo? There's nobody there to take the photo. So I was hoping that in the future, and I definitely volunteer to do this, to either take the photo for the parents on their own phone, but I was thinking if we provided the Polaroid and just gave them their Polaroid to take then and there. We did have some ornaments where they could put the picture in the ornament, but we didn't provide the photo. So I thought that'd be relatively inexpensive. And then for outside, turned out to be kind of a cold day. So I was wondering about just heaters or tents or things like that. I think parking was also kind of an issue there because the vent space was the parking lot, but it was full of cars. So it was hard to see. You could hear the police cars coming in, but you couldn't really see Santa unless you were like up in the very, very front. Just some things like that.
It sounds like those are logistics, not
Yeah.
necessarily something that we can purchase this year. And that's great feedback.
Well, I think the tent and the heaters, if those are things, I think maybe it would draw more people. I was a little bit surprised that there weren't more people. We were through the line of kids to see Santa by, was it 6, Jen? About. So I don't know if it's the advertising or the event itself, or it did get really cold that night. So
Mikhail, did you have any thoughts on what you might spend funds on this year that could be, paid for this year?
Yeah, I would first probably try to look towards a few more displays. That may be hard, just how their billing works and just the time crunch we're in. And then kind of based off of Joni's comments, me and Jen did talk about purchasing heaters for the future. So that would be something that we could easily purchase and get coded out in this year. And one of the comments was also line of sight of those talking, and like it was said with Santa, not everyone could see Santa. And we've talked about purchasing potentially like a portable stage, which you can get some pieces of a portable stage that are a 3x3, and then you connect them together. And those are fairly, with some funding, we could have a little portable stage up there where the speakers could be more visible, and when Santa came, he could be more visible. So just off the top of my head, I would say displays first. But then if timing doesn't work with those, then some of these auxiliary items to help make the programming more functionable.
No, that sounds great. Commissioners, do you have any thoughts on that? Katie, you were there?
Yeah, I brought those little stand up, it was like a Santa elf that you could put your face in and take a picture. That's I was doing with a Polaroid camera I already had. So, you could get a couple of those. It was kind of fun having them do things while they're waiting for Santa. So they were making ornaments, they were taking these little pictures, and then they got up to where they were with Santa.
And a lot of the parents were very appreciative and thankful and told us what a great idea it was to have the crafts that we were doing. So that was great.
Yeah.
I didn't think the waits were that long at
No.
all. They'd start on their craft and then their parents would be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Santa's waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
Everyone did
those
a
are
great
all
job.
great ideas. Well, Jen, is that if we do a motion to spend money for the Home for the Holidays, and is that something you could make the final financial determination on based on seeing the budget on
Yeah.
what we could spend?
I think I would defer to Mikkel. He has a good sense of what we really need. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, what we actually have to spend.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm looking at here is the 4,000 from the utility box wraps, and then the balance in the programming, minus the receipt that I have on my desk today for the trees and then whatever else Mikkel needs to purchase. So it'd be whatever the difference is in the programming and then the 4,000 for the
And what about the
Box wraps.
smorgasbord?
the 200, I can punch the numbers on that.
Yeah, I mean, we need to make sure that we,
So the balance of each, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
because we went a little bit over on the boulder painting. We have to
Yes.
absorb somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, is there any possibility of providing money like for live music during the holidays? Like a brass band or carolers?
I mean, that we did have carolers.
Yeah.
And I think the cheerleaders were there, but I mean, that's something that could be budgeted for, but that would be in whatever budget.
That will come with growing the event,
Yeah.
and that's gonna take us baby steps as staff to do every year.
I mean, that's not money we can spend this year, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
certainly an idea for next year. Because we're looking at spending only the remainder of this year's money.
Yeah.
So if as a commission, we have an interest in that, we would just need a motion to direct funding, any remaining funding as determined by Jen to the Home for the Holidays program.
I move that we spend the remainder of the Home for the Holidays budget before the end of the year.
Second.
Okay, if I'm understanding your motion, because there isn't a Home for the Holidays budget. So if I'm understanding your motion, you would like to see the remaining balance of our
Okay.
2025 budget,
Yes.
the unspent, to go to Home
Yes.
for the Holidays to be spent
Yeah.
before the end of the
Yeah.
year. Okay. And so we have a motion by Joni and a second
I'll
by
second.
Katie.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, please show the motion is passed unanimously. I think you guys, your team, Jen, you did a great job, Mikhail, and I know how much hard you worked on it to
Yes.
get this program up and running with very little notice, so we thank you. All right. Next up on the budget is the utility box updates.
So, yeah, I have an update. We went to council 2 weeks ago, or was it last Monday? Oh, gosh, I can't remember. And they approved the STCO donation. We received the check last week. So we'll process that check. It will go into the Public Art Fund to fund all of the wraps and the stipends. I think the total was 4,300 and some change that STCU donated. So that covers us there. And I spoke with CW Wraps. They are going to attempt to install the wraps this week, weather depending. So I don't know with this temperature change, they can only go to a certain temperature before they can't install. And if that's the case, it'll likely be spring, or if we got a warm up, an odd warm up in the winter, they could probably maybe come out and do it.
And that donation is for Kramer Parkway and the
Yes.
Legacy combined.
Yes, it pays for 4 boxes, 2 boxes at each location
Okay.
of the 2 locations.
And Laura, do you have any update on the Legacy? Have we heard from the artist?
No.
No. Okay. It's probably gonna be too cold, so we'll work through selecting that art as when we get the information back from the artist on that. All right, that's exciting. So goat sculpture update. Jen, is that?
The only update I have right now is that it is on the agenda, the artist agreement for the goat sculpture and for the city birthday art, which is the next item on the list. Those are both on the council agenda for tomorrow night's approval.
Tomorrow night.
Mhm.
Okay. And then it looks like that we'll be able to invoice the birthday artist before the end of the year.
Yeah,
With
but
that-
the money has carried over.
has carried
So
over, okay.
yeah, there's no pressure. But we're ready to go whenever we get the artist agreement signed for that.
Okay. And then the Kramer Liberty Lake Together 2024 project update.
Yeah, it's installed. So that's really exciting. It was last week, last Monday. My dates are running
Yeah.
together. They installed last week. They removed the forms and wraps. And so the panels are up. You can drive by and see it. The glass, the fused glass portion will be installed on Wednesday of this week, and then they'll be done and ready for lighting and landscaping in the spring. So
Awesome.
And a
there was-
plaque. And a plaque.
and a plaque.
Yep.
Sorry, yes. Is the final invoice from the artist on tomorrow's approval, or is it?
Yeah, it's in the vouchers. It'll be in the vouchers as well.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I figured.
Yep. Sigh of relief.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I mean, it's going to be stunning once the glass pieces are in. So if you haven't driven by it,
Yeah, I haven't,
take a look.
I haven't seen it without the braces, so I'm
It looks
excited.
really, like, driving in, I was like, oh, this is going to look amazing.
I think the placement ended up being nice though,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
slits up just a little bit and then the foundation, the
Well, you
pier.
can see it from every direction too,
Mhm.
coming in. So, yeah. Coming or going.
So
you can see it.
Wednesday, so
Wednesday,
exciting.
Yeah.
Nice
Okay.
job, Laura.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, that's a big sigh of relief.
Yep.
I just wanted to make everybody aware, because Jen made me aware that the vote for the chair will be in January. Apparently, the chair is for 2 years. I've enjoyed being your chair. I would be happy to do it again because I have the time, being retired for the extra stuff. But if somebody else wants to be the chair, then just be thinking about it, and that will come up on our agenda for our January meeting. And now we move on to the staff report.
So the only items I have, I pretty much mentioned already. And then there's one I'm forgetting that you asked if I would weigh in on. Well, what was it that you asked me to weigh in on? It's been-
Just the event.
Yeah, it was the
Just
event, we
event.
kind of discussed that. We agreed that growing the crafts would be a hit. We agreed that opening at 4:30 or a little earlier pre-event for people to come in and congregate in the warmth and do activities. That worked out really well that we did that. Let's see. I think that's all I have. Mikkel, did you have a couple of quick items you wanted to mention?
Yes, just real quick, I wanted to let the commission know, last week last meeting, we discussed doing a potential Lego camp. That's going to be put on hold currently with the city's requirements for SAM insurance. The vendor couldn't facilitate that currently. And so that's going to be put on hold. It's something we're going to review hopefully for the future. And then just so commissioners are aware, I'll send out an email probably next week or this week. I need 3 commissioners that are willing to volunteer and be judges for Battle of the Branches to pick the top tree that has been decorated. And then also potentially some volunteers to do the home decorating contest, be judges for that. So I will shoot out an email this week to see if anyone's willing, but just something to keep in mind if anyone is willing to do that.
Yeah, could you send us the dates again?
Yes, I will. I'll send all the information and all the potential requirements for judging.
Thank you, Mikkel. And I will mention that last Monday, we had a special budget discussion meeting with City Council, and it was interesting the way that it went. I would encourage you to watch that meeting if you're interested. Nothing was cut from the budget. There was a lot of discussion on public art. The only thing that we did reduce was the special events professional services line item, which is not an art line item. It's a rec line item for the drones that we were hoping to have on for next year to the tune of $150,000, which I completely understood that. So, but it was an interesting meeting. And if you're interested at all on following our budgets, particularly, I would recommend watching that.
Could you email out a link to
Yes.
that meeting and give us an idea at
Yes.
what time
Yeah.
we should start
Mhm.
listening?
Well, it kind of banned
Carried through.
sections of the meeting, right? Is that?
Yeah,
that's
if
what-
you just pull it up on YouTube, you can fast forward
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
computer. It's really easy.
You'll see me up at the podium quite a bit.
Okay.
I was,
Last,
So every time we see
Tuesday.
you when we're
Then
fast forwarding,
stop.
stop, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
was it 18th,
This was
I
just
think?
last Tuesday's meeting?
Monday.
Monday,
Or Mon-
And then we have,
Special budget meeting.
the 24th.
yeah, and then we have continuation of budget discussions tomorrow night and potential for any budget discussions next Monday. Next Monday, they will also be interviewing the candidates to backfill the open council position. So we are hoping as staff that the budget would get finalized tomorrow night, but we'll see.
Oh, so it's not.
This is still with the existing council or new council members?
Existing.
coming in?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Till
They
January.
wanted, the council wanted to approve the budget for 2026 prior to bringing on a new council member. So
Oh, okay.
that's all I have.
Okay, so we'll look for that email. Then we have our December 10 joint meeting with the Planning Commission. It's in this room. It's at 4 PM on December 10. I don't remember what day of the week it is. I think
That's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So as many of you guys can come as possible, it's kind of a discussion workshop. And do you want to remind them a little bit of an overview of what it is? It's for the scope of services,
Yeah,
right?
Level of service
Level of service.
discussion is going to be the primary discussion.
Yeah, and it
with
has
the
to do
planning
with the
commission.
park comp plan.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's beneficial for us to be there and weigh in so that, we have some say and.
And it will be on Zoom as well as in person. So either way, I'll be publishing an agenda of notice so that we don't have to worry about having an open public meeting with no notice. So you'll see that come through and then probably by the end of this week, I would think.
Is there some materials we should be reviewing in advance?
We have a meeting with SCJ tomorrow, so I'll ask that question. I'll also send out Lisa's, I'm tired, sorry. Lisa's agenda for the planning commission, and she put us on early in the agenda just so that we don't have to hang around, so.
And 4 PM on the 10th.
Yeah,
Is SCJ participating in that
Yes.
meeting as well? Okay.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
She will lead the discussion on that.
Is it a meeting where we can discuss with them, or do we
Yes.
just sit and listen?
No,
No, it's
absolutely.
a workshop. so we
Yeah,
get to-
it's a combined effort. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, and then our next meeting is January 5, which should be past the holidays, hard to believe. And then when is the council report?
That will be December 16th. Oh, I forgot to put that on there.
December 16th. Does anyone have a strong desire to do the council report on December 16th? If not, I am available, but I don't want to take away your thunder if you would like to do it.
I think you should do it, Nancy, because you have the most background in the budgeting.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think the budget would be finalized by then. When's the second budget?
Well, yeah, we hope that it will be, but it might not be.
Okay,
So,
all right. Well, I will do the council report on the 16th. Keep me out of trouble. All right, anything else for the greater good? And if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved by Laura, seconded by Joni to adjourn. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.